Okay. Welcome you all to my YouTube channel. First, let me introduce myself to you. This is M. Rambabu, lecturer in English, JVR Govt Degree College, Sathupally, Command District. This class is meant for BA, BSc and BCom first year students, semester 2. The topic is word stress. First of all, why stress marking? What is the function of stress marking in English language? Why should we mark stress for the words? We have to be acquainted with all those things. The first point is to make a syllable or a word appear more prominent than others. Stress is used to make a syllable or word appear more prominent than others. And the second thing is to bring beauty and clarity to the pronunciation. These are the main things we have to keep in mind while marking stress for the words. The first one is to make a syllable or a word appear more prominent than others. And the second point is to bring beauty and clarity to the pronunciation. The three signals of stress in English language. What are the changes we find when stress marking is used with the words? Point one is loudness. We take a greater breath force. Second one is length of the vowel. And the third one we find is a pitch change. The first thing is loudness. When we use stress marking for a word, we use loudness of the syllable where we use the stress marking. Second one is length of the vowel. We find the prolonged pronunciation of that particular syllable. And third one is pitch change. We find some pitch change there. For example, banana. Here, banana is divided into three syllables. Banana. But when we come to stress marking here with this word, banana, the word is pronounced as banana. Here, the second syllable is marked stress. It means we use a stress marking on the second syllable, on the penultimate syllable. On the penultimate syllable. There are three syllables in this word. Here we are using a stress marking on the penultimate syllable. It means the second syllable from the last one. Banana. Banana. Symbol of stress marking. We use a vertical bar above and in front of the syllable that carries the primary stress. First, let's talk about the primary stress. Thereafter, we can go to the secondary stress, and tertiary stress is also there. First, let's discuss only primary stress, main stress. The symbol of stress marking is a vertical bar placed above and in front of the syllable that carries the primary stress. For example, application. Let's divide the word in let's divide the word into syllables. Application. There are 4 syllables in this word. It's a polysyllabic word. Application is a polysyllabic word. Here, the stress is used on the second syllable from the last, penultimate syllable. Application. This word is pronounced as application. Application. Before going to the stress marking, let's have a brief discussion on syllabification. How to divide the words into syllables. First, let's know what a syllable is. The distinctive sound unit in a word is called syllable. It means the minimal sound unit of the word is called syllable. The minimal sound unit. The word consists of certain sound units. The minimal sound, each sound unit is called a syllable. There are different kinds of syllables according to the structure. Let's take the example tree. Tree. It has only one sound unit. So it's called a monosyllabic word. As it has only one syllable, it's called a monosyllabic word. Mono means one. Teacher. Teacher. T is one sound unit. Ch is another sound unit. The word teacher has 2 sound units. So it's called a disyllabic word. Di means 2. Calendar. 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 Ca is one sound unit, len another sound unit, and d is the third sound unit. The word calendar has 3 sound units, 3 distinctive sound units. So it's called a trisyllabic word. Computation. Computation. It has 4 sound units, so it's called a polysyllabic word. Monosyllabic word, disyllabic word, trisyllabic word, and a polysyllabic word. If the word has only one syllable, that word is called a monosyllabic word. If the word has 2 syllables, it's called a disyllabic word. If the word has 3 syllables, it's called a trisyllabic word. And if the word contains more than 3 syllables, it's called a polysyllabic word. This is about syllabification. Syllabification is the basic aspect of stress marking. Because we lay stress on the syllables. That's why syllabification is more important part in stress marking. Let's take some monosyllabic words for example. In case of monosyllabic words, the stress is usually at the beginning of the word because such words have only one syllable. Naturally, stress is laid at the beginning of the word. That's why the monosyllabic words take the stress at the beginning of the words themselves. For example, tree, train, apple, may, bus, train, tree, apple, may, June. Okay, these are all monosyllabic words. They take stress at the beginning of the words. It's quite natural thing because naturally the stress marking is laid at the beginning of the syllable concerned. Now let's discuss some rules regarding stress marking. The first rule is when a noun, what's called a noun naturally? Name of a person, thing, place, or any abstract quality. Or an adjective has two syllables, the stress is usually on the first syllable itself. It means when a noun or adjective that have two syllables, it means disyllabic words, the stress is usually on the first syllable itself. The rule one says that when a noun or adjective that have two syllables, take stress on the first syllable itself. For example, let's take English. English has two syllables. English. What is the first syllable here? Eng. So the stress is laid before the first syllable. It means before the letter E. English. English. Likewise, doctor, neighbor, actor, patient, nation, labor, kidney, captain, English, doctor, neighbor, actor, patient, nation, labor, kidney, captain. These are few examples for noun and adjectives. Here, English is noun, doctor, neighbor, actor, nation, labor, kidney, captain. Most of these words are nouns here. Patient is both noun and adjective. Now let's go to another rule here. Verbs and prepositions with the two syllables naturally take the stress on the second syllable. Verbs and prepositions with the two syllables take the stress on the second syllable. Here are few words regarding this rule. Pretend. It's a verb. Become. Prevent. Obtain. Remind. Pretend. Become. Prevent. Obtain. Remind. These are all verbs. They have taken the stress on the second syllables respectively. Likewise, between, behind, beneath, before, between, behind, beneath, before. These are all prepositions. Both verbs and prepositions with the two syllables naturally take the stress on the second syllable. Let's go to rule 3. Some words in English act as both noun and verb. In such cases, nouns take stress on the first syllable and verbs take stress on the second syllable. Some words act as both noun and verb. For example, produce, produce. It acts as both noun and verb. But how can we identify whether it is a noun or a verb? By pronunciation. With the help of stress marking only, with the help of stress only. Produce. Noun. It takes stress on the first syllable. Present. Export. Suspect. Desert. These are all nouns because they take stress on the first syllable itself. Whereas produce, produce, produce is noun, produce is verb, produce. The stress is marked on the second syllable here. Present is noun, present. Present is verb. Export is noun, export. Export. It's verb. Suspect is noun, suspect. Desert is noun, desert is verb. This is the variation we find with the stress of both nouns and verbs. When the word acts as both noun and verb, nouns take the stress on the first syllable and verbs take the stress on the second syllable. In case of disyllabic words. In case of disyllabic words. Let's go to another rule. We find certain words ending in cy, ty, phy, jy, etc. Words ending in cy, ty, phy, GY, etc. They take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable. They take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable. Penultimate means the second one from the last. Anti-penultimate means the third one from the last. The third syllable from the last is called anti-penultimate syllable. Certain words ending in cy, ty, phy, gy take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable in case of polysyllabic words. For example, democracy, democracy, democracy. Here, stress is marked on the third syllable from the last one. Responsibility, responsibility. Here, stress is marked on the third syllable from the last one. Anti-penultimate syllable. Photography, photography. In the same way, geology. In all these words, in all these polysyllabic words that end in either cy, ty, phy, or gy, stress is laid on the anti-penultimate syllable. It means the third from the last syllable. Likewise, we find certain words ending in ee, eer,ette. They take the stress on the last syllable. The words that end in ee, eer,ette take the stress on the last syllable. For example, employee, employee, addressee, absentee, volunteer, auctioneer, profiteer, cigarette, gazette, Georgette. This is a way of marking stress in case of the words that end in ee, eer,ette, etc., etc. Employee, addressee, absentee, volunteer, auctioneer, profiteer, cigarette, gazette, Georgette. Let's go to another rule here. Words that end in ION, IAL, and IC take stress on the penultimate syllable. Penultimate means the second from the last. Penultimate means the second from the last syllable. Here are some examples. Decoration. Here, the stress is laid on the second syllable from the last. Decoration. decoration, combination, examination, official, social, essential, academic, historic, fanatic, fanatic. Here, all these words take the stress on the penultimate syllable because they end in ION, IAL, and IC respectively. We find some words end in IOUS or EOUS. Such words take the stress on the penultimate syllable. The words that end in IOUS or EOUS take the stress on the penultimate syllable. Penultimate means the second from the last one. For example, notorious. Notorious. This word has 3 syllables. Here, the second syllable is stressed here. Notorious. Ceremonious. Delicious. Courteous. Courageous. Courageous. Notorious. Ceremonious. Delicious. Courteous. Courageous. Words that end in IAN, ICAL, and ITY take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable. Anti-penultimate means the third syllable from the end. Words that end in IAN, ICAL, and ITY take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable. Musician, librarian, comedian, historical, practical, optical, ability, capacity, opportunity, musician, librarian, comedian, historical, practical, optical, ability, capacity, opportunity. This is the way of marking stress in case of the words ending in IAN, ICAL, or ITY. Some words end in IZE, ILOGY, or GRAPHY. They take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable in the same way. Words that end in IZE, ILOGY, GRAPHY take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable. Civilize, criticize, emphasize, biology, zoology, physiology, geography, biography, choreography, like that. Civilize. It means we use extra breath force on C, on the first syllable. Civilize, criticize, emphasize. In the same way, biology, zoology, physiology, geography, biography, choreography, like that. Such words take the stress on the anti-penultimate syllable. In case of compound nouns, noun plus noun, compound words are formed in different ways. Here, let's take compound nouns, noun plus noun. Stress is laid on the first syllable. It means first part. These words are made up of two nouns. Ice cream. It has two nouns, ice and cream. Fireworks. Fire is a noun and work is another noun. It is made up of two nouns. Timetable, firefighter, dance master. These are all compound nouns. They consist of two different nouns. In such cases, the first part is stressed here. It means stress is laid on the first noun. In case of compound adjectives, whereas two adjectives are complemented here, the stress is laid on the second part. For example, well-behaved, cold-blooded, open-minded, long-haired, well-behaved, cold-blooded, open-minded, long-haired, well-known, strong-minded, brightly colored, old-fashioned. These are all compound adjectives. In case of compound adjectives, we use stress marking on the second syllable. In case of phrasal verbs, what's called a phrasal verb? Verb plus particle, or sometimes preposition. The stress is used on the second part. It means on the preposition itself. In case of phrasal verbs, the stress is used on the preposition if it is an action word. Put off, get out, make out, back up, look for, blow out, pay off, cut off. This is about phrasal verbs. This is about stress marking. We have discussed certain rules regarding stress marking. And now we have acquainted with all those rules here. Stress marking is very important part of pronunciation. To make prominent of certain syllables, we use stress marking. It also brings beauty and accuracy to the pronunciation of language. Vertical bar is naturally used to mark stress. Stress is marked naturally before the syllable concerned on the top of the word. The stress marking is used.